What if the secret to living a calmer, stronger, and more meaningful life was discovered more than 2,000 years ago? What if you could stop worrying about things you cannot control, become stronger when life gets difficult, and learn how to stay calm when everything around you feels like chaos? This isn't a modern self-help technique. It isn't a new productivity hack. It's an ancient philosophy called Stoicism. And although Stoicism was born more than 2,000 years ago, its ideas may be more relevant today than ever before. We live in a world of constant notifications, social media, competition, comparison, and pressure. Every day we are told what we should have, how we should look, how successful we should be, and what other people think about us. And somewhere in all that noise, we often forget one simple question: what is actually under my control? That question is at the heart of Stoicism. So today, let's understand what Stoicism really is, where it came from, and how its ancient principles can change the way you see your own life. Stoicism began in Athens, Greece, around the early 3rd century BC. Its founder was a man named Zeno of Citium. According to the traditional story, Zeno lost almost everything when he was shipwrecked. He arrived in Athens with very little, but instead of allowing that disaster to destroy him, he became interested in philosophy. He eventually began teaching his ideas in a public place known as the Stoa Poikile, or the Painted Porch. That's where the name Stoicism came from. Zeno's philosophy was built around a powerful idea. A good life isn't created by wealth, fame, pleasure, or status. A good life is created by virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. The Stoics believed that external things can change at any moment. You can become rich and then lose your money. You can become famous and then be forgotten. You can be healthy today and sick tomorrow. You can be praised today and criticized tomorrow. So if your happiness depends completely on these things, your happiness will always be fragile. Instead, Stoicism teaches you to build your inner character. Because when your character becomes stronger, you become less dependent on the outside world for your peace. Now we come to the idea that perhaps defines Stoicism better than anything else: the difference between what you can control and what you cannot control. Think about your own life. Can you control what other people think about you? No. Can you control whether someone likes you? No. Can you control the weather? No. Can you control what happened yesterday? No. Can you control whether someone criticizes you? No. But can you control how you respond? Yes. Can you control your effort? Yes. Can you control your choices? Yes. Can you control whether you act with honesty and discipline? Yes. This distinction sounds simple, but imagine actually living by it. Someone insults you. Instead of immediately becoming angry, you pause. You realize, I cannot control their words, but I can control my response. Someone rejects you. You cannot force them to change their mind, but you can decide what you do next. You fail at something. You cannot change what already happened, but you can learn from it. That is the Stoic mindset. Don't waste your energy trying to control the uncontrollable. Use that energy to control yourself. There's a common misunderstanding about Stoicism. Some people think being Stoic means becoming cold, emotionless, or completely detached from life. That's not the point. Stoicism doesn't tell you to stop feeling. It teaches you to stop becoming a slave to your emotions. Anger can appear. Fear can appear. Sadness can appear. Disappointment can appear. You are human. The goal isn't to pretend these emotions don't exist. The goal is to create enough space between the emotion and your reaction that you can choose what to do next. Imagine someone sends you an insulting message. Your first reaction might be angry. A normal response might be to immediately reply with something even worse. But a Stoic approach would be different. Pause. Observe the emotion. Ask yourself, will responding emotionally improve this situation? If the answer is no, don't give your anger control over your actions. That's emotional strength, not the absence of emotion, but the ability to choose your response. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers was Marcus Aurelius. He was also the Roman emperor. Imagine having enormous power, wealth, and responsibility. Yet Marcus Aurelius spent much of his life reminding himself that power and wealth were temporary. In his private writings, later known as Meditations, He repeatedly reminded himself to focus on his own character and actions. One of the most powerful lessons associated with his philosophy is this: your mind has enormous influence over how you experience events. Two people can experience the same difficult situation and react completely differently. One sees failure, another sees a lesson. One sees criticism, another sees an opportunity to improve. One sees an obstacle, another sees a challenge worth overcoming. The event may be the same, but the interpretation can be different. And that is why Stoicism places so much importance on your mind. You cannot always choose what happens, but you can work on how you understand what happens. Another major Stoic thinker was Seneca. Seneca was a Roman philosopher, writer, and statesman. One of his important themes was our relationship with things we fear losing. Think about how often we worry about losing something before we've even lost it. We worry about money, relationships, jobs, status, health, possessions. The Stoics understood that everything external is temporary. That doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy your life. It means you shouldn't believe that your possessions are the foundation of your identity. If you have something valuable, appreciate it. If you have someone you love, appreciate them. If life is going well, be grateful. But remember that nothing outside you is guaranteed forever. This perspective can actually make you appreciate life more. When you understand that something isn't permanent, you may stop taking it for granted. Then there was Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic teachers. His life was very different from that of Marcus Aurelius. Epictetus was born into slavery, yet he became one of the most respected Stoic teachers of his time. His philosophy focused heavily on freedom, and his idea of freedom was different from what most people imagine. Most people think freedom means having no restrictions, but Epictetus taught that true freedom comes from not being controlled by things outside yourself. Imagine someone who has everything they want, but is constantly terrified of losing it. Are they truly free? Now imagine someone who has very little, but remains calm, disciplined, and in control of their choices. Who is more free? For the Stoics, freedom begins inside. You become less controlled by the opinions of others, less controlled by fear, less controlled by anger, less controlled by unnecessary desire, and more capable of choosing your own response. Here's another powerful Stoic lesson. Failure is not always your enemy. Sometimes failure is information. You tried something. It didn't work. Now you know something you didn't know before. Maybe you need a different strategy. Maybe you need more discipline. Maybe you need more experience. Maybe the goal itself needs to change. The Stoic doesn't ask only, why did this happen to me? The Stoic asks, what can I learn from this? That single change in perspective can transform the way you experience difficult moments. Instead of seeing every obstacle as proof that life is against you, you begin seeing obstacles as opportunities to develop strength. You don't need to live like an ancient philosopher to practice Stoicism. You can start today. When someone annoys you, pause before reacting. When something goes wrong, ask what you can control. When you fail, look for the lesson. When people criticize you, decide whether their criticism contains something useful. When you feel overwhelmed, focus on the next thing you can actually do. And when life is going well, appreciate it instead of assuming it will always remain that way. These are simple actions, but practiced consistently, they can change your mindset. Whenever something difficult happens, try asking yourself 3 questions. First, what is actually happening? Separate the facts from your assumptions. Second, what part of this situation is under my control? Focus your energy there. Third, what would the strongest version of me do next? Not the angriest version, not the most fearful version, not the version trying to impress everyone. The strongest version. Then act. You may not control the world around you, but you can control the person you become inside that world. So, what is Stoicism? It isn't about becoming emotionless. It isn't about accepting a miserable life. It isn't about pretending that nothing hurts. And it isn't about giving up. Stoicism is about developing the strength to face reality without allowing reality to control your character. It teaches you to accept what you cannot change, work on what you can change, control your reactions, build discipline, practice courage, and live according to your values. More than 2,000 years ago, the world has changed dramatically. We have smartphones, artificial intelligence, modern cities, instant communication, but human beings still struggle with many of the same things. Fear, anger, jealousy,
failure, loss, desire, and the search for meaning. That's why an ancient philosophy can still feel surprisingly modern. Because technology changes, human nature doesn't change nearly as quickly. And perhaps that's the real reason Stoicism continues to survive. The next time life doesn't go according to your plan, remember this. You don't need to control everything. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to eliminate every problem. You simply need to become stronger in the areas that are actually yours to control. Your choices, your actions, your attitude, your character, and your response. That is where your real power begins. Stoicism doesn't promise that life will become easy. It teaches you how to become stronger when life isn't easy. And perhaps that is a lesson worth remembering. If you want to explore more ancient wisdom, Stoic philosophy,